Be offended if he asked you for a paternity test.
I would say yes, because it shows that he doesn't trust me. Because I feel like at that stage in marriage, it's like, if you don't trust me, then you shouldn't be with me.
Yeah, I'd be offended. And I think it would break something for sure. I'm not saying I wouldn't do it, but that I think that would mean there are other issues, like there is something to talk about. But yeah,
So would
I'd
you
be
refuse
offended.
the paternity test?
No, I said I'm not sure I would refuse it, but I think it would break something because the trust is...
Would you refuse it?
I would do it.
You would
just
do
to
it?
show proof.
But it would destroy your trust, right?
Yes.
Okay. Would you do a paternity test?
I would, but I would be upset that he doesn't trust me.
You'd be upset?
Yeah.
Okay, what about you?
Yeah, I'd do it.
That's insane. These women are insane. This is 2024, right? There's no more such thing like believing all women, trusting all women. Oh man, you know what I mean? But in that case, we are talking about paternity test, right? You guys, you women, you know that the child is yours. We don't know that the child is ours, right? So, from there, I need a paternity test, right? I don't care. Why would I believe you 100%? This is 2024. We are seeing many disturbing things happening right there. Faithful women having kids out of the wedlock, in wedlock. So, the least is, to be sure that the kid is mine and do the paternity test, right? If you love me, it's okay. But if you have a problem with that, I'm done. So let's keep pushing, guys.
Would you be
No.
upset at all?
Honestly, think about it, not really. Just because at that stage, I know if I know my partner well and he's like a little bit anxious as a person, I'm just like, okay, you know what? Just to give you peace of mind, here, we'll do it. And then if, he gets his answer and he's like, oh, thank the Lord. And I'm like, okay, you just wasted money and time just to do this test. But whatever, move on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
I would do it, but I do feel if there's no reason to not be trusted, I guess if I gave him a reason for him not to trust me, then I do feel that's valid. But even asking for it, I do feel it's going to ruin a lot for our relationship.
Would it end the relationship if you asked for one?
Emotionally, I'm not sure about.
You got to speak into the microphone.
I'm not sure about physically end the relationship, but definitely emotionally for me.
Wait, it would emotionally end the...
The connection between
Wait, it
us.
wouldn't physically end the relationship? So you guys would still but you wouldn't be in love? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, if we were having a child together, I wouldn't necessarily... I would try to find an alternative before, I guess, getting a divorce. But in terms of the emotional connection with my husband, it would break that trust agreement between us.
What about you?
I would take it. I don't think I would be that offended, to be honest. I mean, I do think, a lot of other people mentioned, that it would be kind of a problem that we need to talk about. And I would definitely want to know where is this coming from, because I don't think those things ever come from nothing. But I would take it.
That's insane. You see, women in general are not able to put themselves in other people's shoes, right? They lack empathy. The idea of being empathic is to be able to put yourself in other people's shoes, right? To understand from their perspective. And these women just incapable of doing that. They don't understand that. They don't grasp the idea of not being sure that this kid is mine. just because I trust you, that doesn't mean that you cannot cheat. You cannot have another kid with someone else. And we know for a fact that when you're married, every single child born into the marriage are immediately considered as the husband's child. And that's insane. That law needs to change. Because that means that if your wife cheats on you, have a kid with another man, because you guys are married, that child is yours. And you are going to pay the child support, everything, if you guys divorce. So that's insane. That's why there needs to be a law for men to be able to do the paternity test before the birth of the child, right? And it will be easy. Because there's a lot of stats out there saying that there's more or less 30% of the kids that are not from the husband or the man, and they're just raising other men's kid. That's insane. 30% is a lot. And you're telling me I cannot do a paternity test? That's insane. I'm French, for those who don't know, and here in France you cannot do that. You cannot ask for a paternity test as you wish. You know what I mean? You need to have a very, very valid, I don't know what, to ask that disease or something like that, for blood check for the kid. But other than that, you cannot just say, hey, I'm not sure that this kid is mine. Can I have a DNA test? They're going to say, no. That's not a valid reason. That's insane. That's insane. And only in America you can ask for that, but it's not mandatory. So, but guys, tell me guys in the comment section, how is it in America or where you live? I'm in Europe, France, so you cannot ask for that. But let me know what's happening in your country. Let's keep pushing, guys.
I think it's way bigger than just a relationship.
You wouldn't be upset or...
Maybe a little bit, but I don't think I'd be upset after like a while.
Anissa?
I would take it, but it would definitely be like hurtful, and it would also like indicate, like you said, like a deeper issue.
Andrew, any thoughts on the...
Yeah, I'd like to ask a slightly different question. What if he went ahead and took a paternity test without your knowledge, and then you found out about it? Would that upset you?
Yes, it's the same. I mean, it's worse even.
Yeah, but if he knew that perhaps you'd had discussions about this or something like this. Mm-hmm. If he knew that you were against this, or you thought that somehow this was him bringing your integrity into question, and so in order to spare that, right, this is perhaps he's anxious on his own part or whatever, for whatever reason, he decided that he would just go ahead and do this on his own to establish paternity in order to not upset you. Isn't he kind of in a catch-22 there? Right? Isn't he in a catch-22? Either he tells you about it and you get super upset, so he has to do that.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, what are his options at that point?
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't tell you, I mean, what you don't know doesn't hurt you, but
right,
like doing anything behind your, communication and trust is that, because even you said like it's bigger than the relationship. I mean, trust is the relationship, in my opinion. If I don't trust someone or my friends, what am I? Why would I be in the relationship with them? So.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm not looking at this from your perspective. I'm trying to look at it from the other person's perspective. So women are always assured of paternity. That's not a thing that they ever have to worry about, right? They know it's their baby because it's coming out of them, right?
Yeah.
Men are the only ones who are ever going to have doubts about paternity. They're the only ones. since that is the case, if they wanted the peace of mind of a paternity test, which since almost all forms of family go from father to son, including the last name living on, I understand why men want a paternity established, especially now that we can do it. And for most of human history, we couldn't. I'm not even sure that, well, it's not even, I'm not even sure. I don't think that it even has anything to do with whether or not they trust their partner, but rather it's just peace of mind. So if you set up the option of, if you asked me for a paternity test, I would get super offended and I would be upset about it. What choice are you giving them except to go ahead and go behind your back?
Facts, Andrew. Facts. Facts. And they are going to do that. You know? Because they don't have any choice. And that's the problem, guys, because women, or at least those women, are thinking that, like, you need to trust me. Okay, I'm dating you, I'm your wife, whatever. You need to trust me. I'm pregnant, you need to trust me that it's your child. No, I don't. I don't. I don't. We are human beings. I cannot trust nobody 100%. And I'm married, I'm telling you that. You know what I mean? You can't trust someone 100%. Even your wife, even your husband. You see, you need to be intelligent and wise at the same time. An intelligent person learns from his own mistakes. A wise person learns from other people's mistakes. Since we know that those kind of things happen, we heard a lot of stories, women having 1 to 3 kids while married, and that man raising those 3 kids thinking that they are his kids. But at the end of the day, he find out they don't. So don't tell me, trust me, because I said so. No, I don't. I need a paternity test. I need to be sure. I need that peace of mind. Right? It's easy for you. Because you're the one birthing those kids. We are not. And that's insane. That you guys, you women, cannot be like, let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it. Empathy. 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 That's it.
Well, the thing is, like, my expectation is that he trusts me.
Yeah, but
I mean,
I'm not
yeah,
sure
yeah.
that it's an indicator he doesn't.
Well, you think somebody would just get a paternity test, even if he truly trusted you? If he like fully trusts you, like that wouldn't make.
So, haven't you ever had intuitive doubts about things which were absurd or didn't make any sense,
Yeah.
or were kind of silly? Like, for instance, maybe you had a dream that your spouse had cheated on you, so you wake up and you start smacking them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you call them names, and you're like, how? And he didn't even do anything, right? It was just like some stupid intuition that you had. And then you're like, okay, now hug me and tell me everything's okay. And he's like, I didn't even do anything. I was just sleeping, right? So it's you can have. I just find it kind of ironic that you can kind of have these silly intuitions, and you want those fears assuaged, but when somebody else might have what you consider to be silly intuitions and you can just put their mind at ease, somehow they're the bad guy, that's a trust issue. Why shouldn't the guy look at you, if you wake them up, for instance, and say, oh, I had a dream that you were cheating, now make me feel better? Why shouldn't he say, how could you not trust me? Oh, that's awful. You don't trust me? Now we have a big issue. Why are you having dreams like that? Wouldn't that be horrible to say?
In my opinion, I feel that intuition is very different from intrusive thoughts. So if there's no, I guess, inner knowing or maybe even a sense of rationality when it comes to trusting your partner, then you are just kind of feeding into your own ego or those intrusive thoughts that they're cheating on you, but they have given no reason for you to believe that.
Yeah, but an intrusive thought is irrational, right? It's
Yeah.
an irrational fear. There's people who have irrational fears of spiders. They have irrational fear of all sorts of different things, and they're generally not shamed for it, right? So let me give you a couple of examples. An irrational fear of heights, very common. An irrational fear, like raise your hand right now if you're claustrophobic. I'm sure at least one of you at the table is. Yep. Every single time, at least one person will be. What about fear of heights? Raise your hand if you have that. Yep. Okay. So we already have established just right here at the table. There's two people who have irrational fears, right? But the thing is what?
What?
Wait, tell Andrew, I don't think fear of heights is irrational. That shit's irrational. You say that shit.
Brian said that fear of heights is not an irrational fear.
Yeah. What if you're 3
very
feet off the ground, dude? What if you're 3 feet off the ground? Then is it irrational? What about 2 feet?
Still.
Capacity for injury.
What if you're enclosed in a room and you just have a window and you look over and it's 50 feet down and you start getting queasy? These are rational fears. And so the thing is like, if that's the case, if you have an irrational fear that a partner could easily take care of for you, like for instance, you have a bad dream. A woman has a bad dream that the guy cheated. This is so common. In fact, there's entire studies on this phenomenon. Entire studies on women having bad dreams and that they don't mean anything and that it's just a silly intuition. But the number one thing that they ask their partner to do when they have that bad dream is to comfort them. That's the number one thing they ask is, listen, I know that this isn't rational, but I'd like you to comfort me anyway.
Yeah.
And so now, can you imagine if you could say, okay, if we can swab your cheek right now, right, these dreams will go away from me forever. Wouldn't you want him to do that?
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
You see? How it's so difficult for those women to put themselves in other people's shoes. They're like, silence radio. Yeah, you will probably love that your husband, your boyfriend do that for you. So why you guys cannot just accept the idea that men are not 100% sure that they are the father of the kid and they may want to do a DNA test. There's some men out there that don't want to do that just don't care. Okay, let's be real. There's men that don't care. They just live their life like that. Okay, I'm married, or I'm dating seriously that woman, and we have a kid, and it's mine. They don't ask any questions. But there are also men out there, like me, even married, that ask questions, that wants to know. You know what I mean? That just don't want to blindly believe someone just because they say so. You know what I mean? So I think that's very interesting, Dyke, because every time I saw videos like that, women all the time are like, no, I don't want that. It's going to change the relationship from their side, of course. It's going to break something between me and the guy. No, it's not every freaking day all about you, right? Sometimes it's other people's feelings, right? That's a relationship. That's a couple. And like we said, it's easy for you guys because you birthed the kid. So you're not scared. But we are scared. Because it's insane, it's painful. It's crazy to raise a kid and 18 years, 20 years, 40 years later, you learn that it's not your kid. That's insane. That's painful. You can off yourself just for that. You create a bond, a relationship, and you realize that it's not your child. That's insane. That's painful. And I think women don't understand that. And that's so sad. Let's keep pushing, guys.
Like if you had dreams, recurring dreams, which you thought he was cheating, there was no evidence of cheating, right? It's all just inside your head. It's all just intuition. And all he had to do was swab his cheek and he'd never have that dream again. Wouldn't you want him to?
I mean, I would self-regulate. I feel like that's something I would deal with myself. If there are no signs, it's really just like random and I'm just like, oh, like, and I don't see how that would come up if you don't see signs. Again, I think it would come from me.
Yeah, but you can misinterpret all of the signs, and that could lead to the dream, right? So you could misinterpret everything and have no evidence, be totally wrong. This happens all the time. Why is it okay for you to do that, just not men?
I didn't say that.
Well, that's what I mean, though, is like men could easily misinterpret all sorts of things or have all sorts of irrational fears.
Yeah.
And if you can just kind of, I can just swab my cheek and put all those fears to bed. It seems really silly to me that when the shoe's on one foot, this irrational fear is kind of fine, but when it's on the other foot, it's not, even though women don't ever have to worry about that fear because they're the birthers of the children. They always have paternity established, just not men.
Also, we need to realize something, is that it's only in the West that we can have those situations and the woman not being held accountable, right? We've seen that. There's no repercussion for women lying, paternity fraud, nothing. Nothing in the West. That's why women do those kind of things. And that's why they are talking. Trying to give a bunch of reason for why it's not a good idea. But it's only in the West because women do that in the West and there is no consequence for that. You cannot do that. Paternity fraud, you cannot do that. In Africa, Middle East, Asia, India, country like that, you can only do that in the West. Even Eastern Europe, you cannot do that. Right? It's only in the West that women are not held accountable for paternity fraud, for all those kind of things. If you live in Africa, Middle East, Asia, India, Pakistan, countries like that, and you do a paternity fraud, and they found out, it's over for you. It is over for you. It is over. I'm telling you, it's over. Those countries, they don't play like that. Those are countries, continent, run by men. And they don't play like that. I'm telling you, it's only in the West. Because you have a bunch of laws, you have no consequences. You can cheat during the marriage, bring another kid. It's okay, you have a law, you have no consequences. But go do that in Africa. Go do that in Asia. Go do that in Middle East. Go do that in India. Go do that in Pakistan or other countries like that. Nobody's gonna find you. You're gonna be lost. And read between the lines when I say lost. It's over for you. They don't play like that. That's why they don't do that. Women in those countries, they don't do that. Because they know there is consequences for doing paternity fraud. And you're not even gonna have the time to go to the police or the police to come to catch you. The man, the family, they are going to take care of you right away. That's why you don't hear women over there doing this kind of stuff. Because they know if they cheat during the marriage and they have kids from another man and then bring those kids in the marriage, it's over. That's why we need to learn other people's culture. That's why we need to understand other people's culture, so we can see where we at and the chance that we have. Because we have a lot of things here that other cultures, other race, other people, other continent don't have. They don't deal with it. We live in a progressive world here in the West. Right? But hey, let's keep pushing, guys.
I mean, maternity for them and then paternity for men, right?
Well, some women sometimes don't know either.
Well, they may not know who the father is, but they're going to always know who the mother is.
Oh, yeah.
Fathers though, they don't have that guarantee. Women always have the guarantee that this is my child. So, if you can have those irrational fears and ask that those things be like comforted away because it makes you feel better, I don't understand how that's not just the same thing in reverse.
Well, I mean, it is the same thing, but that's in what I said goes for in reverse as well. If a woman has an irrational fear or something, I think I deal with my shit when I know it's kind of irrational. I don't need somebody else to.
Come on. So you've never, ever in your life had an irrational fear like that and asked somebody to comfort that fear away? Like you've never had that dream? And you've never been like, okay, I had this dream and I'd like to talk to you about it just because it'll make me feel better, right? Never?
No, not really, no.
No? Okay, well, how many women...
But, I mean, I guess it's something, but no, I've never...
How many women here have had dreams that their significant other might be cheating? Yeah, or maybe seeing other people. How many times have you thought perhaps they were, even though they weren't, right? You misread the signs. Can we get a show of hands on that? Yeah, I mean, it happens, right? And so the thing is I think that if you were talking to your girlfriends the next day, you said, listen, I had a bad dream that my significant other was cheating on me. And when I woke up, he said to me, you know what? I can't believe you don't trust me. You're a rotten person. I can't believe it. That's awful. And then went and slept in another room. I think that they would all be like, what a jerk. They'd all be like, what a jerk that he did that to you. What an absolute, all he had to do was give you a hug. All he had to do was tell you it would be okay. But then somehow, though, if they ask for like the most important thing on planet Earth, which is just establishing the paternity of their child, that's some kind of big ask. And that to me is just absurd.
Well, I mean, asking for support, it's not like asking for proof. It's different.
Yeah, it is. It is asking for proof. You're asking them for the same thing. You're asking them to make you feel better about an irrational fear, about something which they know it's not true, right? So your partner, your husband, your boyfriend, whatever, they know they're not cheating on you.
Yeah.
So it's accusatory. It's accusatory to be like, even to tell them, oh, I had a bad dream, comfort me. Yeah. That in its own way is accusatory. And it's like, So, but the expectation is like, well, they're men, you know, they should hug us and make us feel better about this stuff. But it's like when it's on the shoes on the other foot, it's offensive, and how dare they? And I just don't understand.
It's offensive in both ways, but equivalent would be the guy not asking for a test, but asking for comfort. That's the equivalent of the situation. Be like, hey, is this me comforting and saying like, yes, he's yours? It's the same thing as like, let's say you said like the dream thing you said.
Oh
and
yeah, sure.
You see, that's why you cannot talk with women. That's not the same. You saying to me, it's yours, doesn't change the fact that it could not be mine. Right? That's insane. It's not the same. Having a bad dreams and having a child and wanting to know that it's your child, it's not the same. Child is life-changing. That's insane. Women just don't understand that. That's why it's a waste of time talking with women about those kind of things. Just make love. Just make laws. Stop talking with women about those kind of things. That's insane. It's a waste of time. Let's keep pushing, guys.
The girl was having recurring dreams. You said you would expect them to swab their cheek, right? They would get rid of the dreams forever. You know? Hey, will you just swab the cheek and then my dreams go away forever? All these bad dreams that I have about this irrational fear go away. And you're like, no, that's not appropriate. That's just silly to me. Of course, every man I could imagine would be like, yeah, sure, I don't care.
I doubt it.
I don't think they would care.
I highly doubt it.
I don't think they would care. I think that, every man I've ever talked to has woken up with a woman next to him who has said this to him, who has said, I think you're cheating, blah, 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 blah. And I know it's not rational. It's a bad dream that I had. It's not even true, but I had the bad dream. Make me feel better. That's
you don't think they find it annoying?
You
don't think they find that annoying? You don't think they feel
I think they find it annoying, but I think that because they, kind of adore the other person, that if she was like, oh, if you just swab your cheek with this Q-tip for 30 seconds, I'll never wake you up with this again, I think they would do it. And I don't even think they would complain. I literally don't even think they would complain. I think they'd be like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. I think they'd do it while they're brushing their teeth. I don't think they'd care, right?
It's the end of the video. Hey guys, I forgot to say that. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, to comment below. I need your help. I need your energy. To give me that energy to keep going, to keep making videos for you guys, to keeping dropping knowledge, sharing knowledge with you guys. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, guys. Like, comment below. It helps the algorithm, guys, right? And yeah, just make laws. We need to make laws and stop having to talk about those kind of things with women. Make zero sense. If there's a paternity fraud, you go to the jail. 1 to 3 years old, 1 to 3 years, 5, I don't know. That's it. DNA before the birth of the child. That's it. We need laws. Stop talking. We need to stop talking. Because men are the victim here. So the same way we make laws for other victim people, where something is bad happening, we need to make laws when those kind of things that impact the life of a lot of people. We need to make laws for that. Paternity fraud, you go to jail. DNA test before the birth of the kid, mandatory. Period. You know what I mean? So hey guys, shout out to whatever podcast for the video, and again, Andrew Wilson, dropping knowledge, love the guy. So yeah, let's keep pushing, guys. Until then, guys, have a nice day. See you.